So, an often overlooked aspect of construction is protecting the finished elements that go into the home while the home is under construction, right?
Yeah, we sat down with Dan Barrett of Texas Jobsite Solutions and got to talk to him about all the things that they offer and how they can protect job sites.
All right. Today we have Dan Barrett with us from Texas Jobsite Solutions to talk to us about honoring our job site. Welcome.
Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Chelsea. Great to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So before we get into sort of all of the things that you guys do, why don't you give us a little bit of background of who you are, where you come from, how you came to be to this point in your career?
Yeah, appreciate that. Well, you can tell from the gray hair, it's been a few years. I've been in the industry just about 25 years, so the construction industry. And I started back in 2001 in the San Francisco Bay Area. Moved out there after undergraduate. And if you remember San Francisco in 2001, dot-com bubble had just burst. So I had an undergraduate degree in business management. Any job I would have gotten, some dot-com bust guy grabbed. And so I was out of work trying to go to grad school. And a buddy of mine said, hey, go see the window warehouse. They're hiring. Like, window warehouse, what's this? So I go in the window warehouse and they hire me, and that started a window and door journey. And so the job site solutions portion we're going to be talking about is its inception is in the window and door industry, which I have been and continue to be in for 20 plus years. So it started there. And, in college, I had started an architect major. I saw the windows.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm not an architect because
you started there.
Started there. The lights in the building never turned off. Never turned off. And you get out and you're not guaranteed anything but more work and maybe not. You know how the story.
Yeah.
So I made a few changes in my degree path, but I have an affinity for architecture. So getting in the window industry made sense. I understood a set of plans. I worked well there. Growing up with my dad, we had our most communication around working on the house. You know, we would either work on cars or work on the house. So I had my experience around a job site. So getting into the industry at that young age, like, this makes sense to me, right? Great time to get in because it's right when, back at this era, you'd price windows and doors in a 3-ring binder. You need a 3050, you'd roll the 3-ring binder, you'd get the price, the United Inch, SDL's glass, and you'd add it up by pencil. And that was just on the way out, and they just brought in quotation software. So my job at the window warehouse in Corte Madera, California, was being the quote guy, or the quote monkey, as most of them called me at that time. But it is a great way to start in the industry, right? You're starting at the ground level. You're learning product. You're learning how to price it. You're learning code. You're learning all this stuff. So that's how I got in the industry way back then. And when I moved to Austin in 2003, I brought that with me. So I had the chance to start a window department for an established iron door manufacturer in town. So I had a great progression from there. It's been over 20 years in Austin now. So my window and door journey, I have worked for a handful of pretty high-end window manufacturers, a couple in Canada, one in the stateside. So I have the manufacturer side of things, windows and doors, and also worked for a couple of dealers, local dealers, like to sell the product. So I've seen both sides of the equation. And it's been a great journey to be in the industry that long and providing solutions for folks on the job site. So I'll pause there. That's a bit about how I started in the window and door world.
Yeah.
And I can continue into how job site solutions
Yeah, for sure. But just go back to that. Did you ever physically do installations and be on the job site, or were you more on the sort of sales and planning side?
Right. So when I started the window department in Austin in 2003 for another folks, I was service, I was delivery, I was sales, I was everything. I was one guy. That's a great way to learn as well. My first installs was on my house. I live in South Austin, a 1927 bungalow that we bought. Should have been a tear down, and we started working on it.
Yeah.
So I purchased double hung windows for my house, and there was a shiplap structure, and it's not plumb. Everything's tilted in or out, and there's no framing in the house, and so no insulation. Your weight and chain windows stuck in the inside of the house.
Right.
So a long way to tell your story. My first window install was in out of plumb walls, trying to install double hungs. And I didn't even have a table saw. So I'm ripping stuff with a skill saw, and I'm hanging. So I learned the hard way. But that's been a great background just with anything. When you get your hands dirty and you get into it, you understand this is why this works this way. This is why it doesn't work this way, right?
Right, exactly.
So that was nights and weekends for many years. I work in my own house, but a better answer to the question is, a lot of my focus has been on the architectural community, on building sales teams and working with dealers and building their sales growth. Yeah. So less time in the field than some other guys.
Okay. Sure. And so Like you said, Jobsite Solutions was born out of your work in the window industry. Let's talk about that transition.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So I'm currently with the company Austin Retrofit is one of my hats I wear. And Retrofit is a local family-run company, been around 27 years. And what's unique about Austin Retrofit is they're a full turnkey outfit. They consult with architects, you sell windows and doors, we install and waterproof. So it's interesting because they really want to turnkey everything and have complete control of the process. I mean, I'm going to not just sell you products and install them, I'll waterproof them. So one issue down the road, one phone number to call, right?
Mm-hmm.
In addition, we fabricate an aluminum product out of Europe called Rayners. We have a CNC facility. So really unique operation. And from my experience of working with over 200 dealers nationwide, I truly believe Austin Retrofit is one of one in the nation with how much they do. Yet there was a hole in the offering, and this is where Jobsite Solutions comes in. So, turnkey project, we're consulting, selling, installing, waterproofing, servicing. The missing part was Jobsite protection. Because I believe, and you guys confirm or deny, but the very first finished element that would go in a house, windows and doors, glass.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's my hunch too, right? Because it's nuts. You put it in so early, so we would install.
Unless you're doing finished concrete floors.
That's true. That's true. Okay, good point.
Which we can talk about later.
We'll get to that in a minute, but yeah, for sure. But no, that's right. You're putting in a finished surface at the beginning, which is
At
nuts.
the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. And the level of homes that we're in, we got another 2 years of the build, right? So it was this hole in our offering that, man, there's got to be a way to solve this because we, for years, would install these high-end projects, cross your fingers, say, hey, call us when you need to finish out, but don't scratch that glass.
Yeah.
Good luck. And so there's all sorts of processes to try to cover the glass, but there's a lot of issues that can resolve, and most glass isn't covered at all. Some, like Cardinal Glass, if you're a window manufacturer that provides Cardinal, they give you a film on it.
Yeah.
Looks helpful. Read the fine print. That needs to be off in 90 days. So that film is really for the benefit of Cardinal Glass to get it to said window manufacturer, get it to the job site. It's not for the builders on site because the Texas summers is going to bake in the glass. So we didn't know of a solution until we found one. And that was the start of Texas Jobsite Solutions as a sister company to Austin Retrofit to say, hey, we're going to focus only on job site protection. Not only for glass on projects, but really part of the goal is to elevate the whole conversation of job site protection in our industry because that wasn't just a hole in our product offering. I feel like it's a hole.
It is.
HOLE in the entire industry that we all know it needs to be filled, but no one had picked it up yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you're saying, you're putting this finished product in early in. Anytime you're putting any of the finished products in, whether it's cabinets or fixtures or any of these things, the house isn't finished at that point. There's still construction that's going on.
Right.
And so you're crossing your fingers, unless you're protecting, you're crossing your fingers that something bad doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And there's a large investment from the client and from us and our responsibility. So I think you're right. I think there is a hole that I think generally across the board, at least at our level, builders understand and pay attention to.
Right.
But I would say 15, 20 years ago, not really.
Yeah.
And there weren't products to support it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
true.
Talk to me a little bit about how you engage with us and how we engage with you, and what you look for when working with the builder to be able to best support them.
Right. No, good thoughts. So you mentioned on your job site earlier, and that's really our tagline. I have a long answer to your question, Daniel, but part of the point, we want to elevate the whole game of how we take care of our job sites. And the honor of the job site really believes we need to honor architecturally what the architects have first pick up the pencil to the turning over the keys. Like we need to honor this project. And that means we honor the finished elements, the details, how things go in. Not only that, honor the homeowners who have agonized over decisions of colors and texture and finish and manufacturers agonized over this. We need to honor their not only dollar amount, but also just their emotional well-being, their products on the site.
Yeah.
And then honor the job site on the builder's side. I mean, you guys are honoring your project with quality installs, quality trades going in. And so that's the honor of the job site motto is really just to lift all boats, to elevate the whole conversation in this industry. And and if there were 2 or 3 other companies doing the same thing, that'd be great because our goal is to elevate the conversation, first bring up the conversation, and then say, hey, there are purpose-built solutions for this. Because often job site protection is save all your Amazon boxes over the last month and unpack them and duct tape them together, and that's covering your wood floor.
Yeah.
Better than nothing, but that's not purpose-built job site protection, right? And so it doesn't register with everybody, though, right? Because everyone knows theoretically you need to protect your products, but most of them think, oh, my Amazon box is good enough, better than nothing, right? So to your question, how we engage, really it has to be really a kindred conversation of like, hey, you guys get it, we get it, and where do we go from here? So there's a couple of avenues we can go on that, but really, I think thematically we just want to elevate the conversation, because it hasn't been had a lot in the past, and maybe one reason it hasn't been had is because there hasn't been a good solution for it, right?
Yeah. So something that we do in order to, because you can't just at some point decide, oh, we're going to protect this stuff. We have to plan for it, just like we have to plan for everything else. I mean, you are a subcontractor that we have to hire. There are products that have to be considered, placement, deployment, all that stuff. And so from our standpoint, which in pre-construction happens, in the planning stage. So when we're putting together our timeline and our sequencing, we are allowing time in between trades or at the end of a specific milestone to have you guys come in and do the work. In addition to that, we have to know how much it costs, what materials we're going to use so that we can budget accordingly and place that into our budget as well, right? So I think part of what you guys do is sort of aid in that, letting us know when you're going to be there, how many days it's going to take so we can put our schedule together, and then also help with estimates and pricing so we know how much it's going to cost.
Right.
So that we can set that expectation ahead of time.
Exactly.
Could you speak to like give us like an idea of like how you could help us understand like timeline for protecting certain things and like how to allow for that in our budget? Just like, I don't know if there's like a handful of things that stand out as like if you were going to protect the top 3 or 4 things on the job site or something.
Right. Okay, I have a theory that I haven't pitched yet.
Okay.
So you guys will be good. It comes from part of my story. I was a pool builder for 6 years. And
is that before or after the windows?
Yeah, that was 13 to 21 or so, whatever math that is. Built over 1,000 pools in Austin and San Antonio. So that's really where the gray hair came from. Yeah. Hard industry. Pool builders like building homes, but every phase is a different subcontract. You got an excavator, plumber, steel, gunite, and each trade cares very little about anyone but themselves. And so the reason I tell this story is as a pool builder, we would calculate or tally leakage. And leakage for us it's a pun on a pool, leaking water, but it's really over costs, overruns in price based upon damage, based upon unexpected occurrences. So we would then look at a Pareto chart to figure that out. So a Pareto chart is really 80% of effects are due to 20% of causes. So you picture the Pareto chart, it's a line graph with a bar graph, and you tally to the left, and it's the most instances and the most effect. And so here's my theory that the effect in this story would be dollar amount. So with the way you guys would budget, I suspect you could look back the last 5 jobs. Okay, here's where the job ended up. High five, we did great. And these are the elements we had to pay extra for damage here, damage there, damage whatnot. And so you could look at your last 5 jobs, get a tally of that, and put it in your Pareto chart. Say, okay, 80% of our issues are caused by issues or effects, which is dollars, by 20% of causes, and that would get our top 3 or 4. So I haven't fleshed this out, but I think thematically it would make sense because you can't just protect everything with the job site protections. The budgets can be crazy. The beauty of this is when your client's looking at their line item before they break ground, like, why the heck do I have X% in job site protection? Because that's a product that you protect and you throw it away. There's no joy to hold on to it and keep it. So your response as builder, well, here's our Pareto chart, last 5 jobs. We found that on average, X% of damage has been happening in these 4 areas. So we're going to focus on these 4 areas. You can do areas 5 through 8 if you want, but we feel like we can handle that. We want some professional services to handle items 1 through 4. So I don't know what those numbers are, but I believe that could be a way to start seeing trends.
Sure.
So that's my theory about how that could work using the Pareto principle.
I like it.
What do most jobs look like for you? Like what things are you protecting mostly?
Right. So we've been around for a little over a year now. So The companies we partner with, they've been around decades. The Jobsite solution products, we don't obviously fabricate or make anything. We're purchasing them, so we're applying them. So the top one for us is glass coverage, and a lot of it's because I'm in the window and door industry, right? So in glass coverage, I feel like it's such a high dollar item, of course, first finish element, and my hunch is it gives you a lot of sleepless nights. I mean, the level of jobs you guys have, and with the glasses isn't protected, a lot of sleepless nights. So that's where we do most of our protection, because it's such an obvious need so early. So with Austin Retrofit installing, we know their phase, and then we come in right behind them because we want to minimize exposure as much as possible, right? And so that's a big one. That being said, we've applied our glass protection for other dealers and other windows in town. It's not just Retrofit. You know, we worked with many other manufacturers around town as well. So glass is a big one because that's so visible. And this glass protection that we can provide.
It also varies. Like if you have a very large window that the glass needs to be replaced, that's expensive and a big deal.
Right. That one's easier to quantify because you get the bid to apply it and you're like, doggone, that's expensive. Like, well, this one 6x12 piece of glass is ruined by your deck guy grinding a piece of rebar, and he sprays that piece of glass is going to cost more than the bid we just gave you to protect all the glass. Right.
Yeah. Insurance.
That's exactly right. It's either you see it as insurance or you've already been bit. And you're like, yeah, man, do it, because I know how painful it is when we got to replace that piece.
Right.
But it is an insurance policy in a way, but you're insuring everything, you know, not just this one piece. Right. So glass for sure.
And what, just real quick on what does that look like? Is that a film? That
good question? So there are films out there, and we mentioned Cardinal Glass as a film. There's other films around. I don't trust them because of the heat we go through.
I've heard stories.
Yeah. And if a film is baked onto a glass, you can get it off. No metal razor blades, use a plastic one, but we don't touch it. I just don't trust it, even if it's rated. So our answer is a liquid applied product that we put on with an airless sprayer, or you can roll it. So it comes in 5-gallon buckets. And how we go on site is we first clean the windows and doors. So the beauty there is once it's covered, the builder knows it's great what's behind there, right? And so say the install goes in this week, we'll be out next week, we'll clean everything really well, and then we'll come to you guys and say, hey, Daniel, here's an issue we found. This window has a scratch in the left corner, it's got a bird's eye here, whatever it is, what do you want us to do? And you'll say, oh, I'll get the window guys out here. So, okay, we'll hold off on that one and we'll move on.
Yeah, it's
so
inspection.
That inspection is really key because, again, we keep in control. It helps our schedule, but again, it gives you peace of mind. So you know if the glass is covered and the glass advanced, it's good because we've inspected it. We didn't find anything. We cover it. So the covering process is we tape the frames, airless spray of the glass, and then pull the blue tape off while it's still dry. And that's it.
Okay.
So it's a heck of a process. We do a lot of taping. Our crews are really good tape guys because those tapes are key. If the product does get on a frame or whatnot, it's water soluble. It comes off, and the product is even rated to go on aluminum or metal frames or steel. Again, I'm so cautious because of our summers in Texas that we're going through right now. I don't want anything on this product's glass we can deal with.
Yeah.
So that's the process.
Okay.
And once it's on, it takes about 2 to 3 days to dry. Good for up to a year. And when it dries, remember fruit roll-ups from when we were a kid?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a fruit roll-up. You just peel it off
Interesting.
and throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
what
the
if
process.
what if we have a job that, like you said, a year? What if we're going beyond that and we want to would you have to come remove it and then apply again?
So the concern if it goes beyond a year is not that it's going to deteriorate the glass or hurt it. It's really going to be possibly difficult to remove.
Okay.
The solution there is you can just put on one more coat, which will bond to the initial coat.
Oh.
And then you're good to go. Or you could roll the dice
Great.
and say, I'm going to take it off in 18 months, see what happens. And it could be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the right answer is to take it off, reapply, which is expensive, or just apply over the existing. That'll strengthen the bond. And then when you are done with the project, fruit roll up it right off.
Just a big one.
Yeah, just a big fruit roll up. Yeah. So it's been great. And it's been fun to be able to provide the solution because you mentioned budgeting, which is the right way to do it. We have other jobs. We get calls say, I've never seen so much glass before in my job. Help.
Yeah.
They're, like I said, it's keeping them up at night, right?
Yeah.
They know what they paid for the window package. And on a shop drawings, looks big. You put it in the opening. Ooh. And then all the crews start going in and out with their claw hammers and their machines. And so we've had a lot of like, oh, geez, we need you out here now, which, we try to accommodate, of course. And we had one where we went out, did all the measuring, did pricing. And while they were still saying yay or nay, deck guys came
Oh
in,
no.
cut all the rebar and sprayed. It
No.
was just a disaster. And so
That's bad.
we covered everything else and we left those 3.
Ouch.
And yeah, so it's one of those things though, with certain builders, they've been burned once. They're like, hey man, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so that's our first option for job site protection one, because it's so visible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also the one we apply ourselves. The other products we'll talk about, it's more of a commodity, like we can apply it and you guys can put stuff down. But the glass protection does take a little more skill, a little more know-how to get it on well. So that's our top one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else? Do you have any, like, what are the sort of second ones after that?
Right. So the next one would be a heavy-duty board that comes in 4x8 sheets, and it's as durable as a 3/4 inch sheet of plywood, but it's only about 1/4 inch thick and only weighs 10 pounds. And so it's very light. You can cut it just like sheetrock, just score it and snap it. And so we do a lot of that on hardwood floors.
Okay.
So it has a fabric back on one side, so it's not going to grind into the floor. So we do a lot of that on hardwood floors. It can even run vertical. For example, we were in the Republic, the big downtown downtown building last week. The Republic is doing a tenant improvement for Lincoln Properties, the owner of it all. And they're like, Lincoln's coming in next week. We need to protect this. So we moved on it and we brought in all the board and we did the floors and then 4 foot up the walls to take a path from the elevator on the 19th floor through all the finished elements into the TI area where they're going to make their offices. And we got up there and their pre-us method was cardboard on the floor and just construction paper. So we get in there, we rip it out and we put it all down, tape it beautifully. We even did corners for the elevator and then cut out where you see the labels of the floors. It was great. You know, we're like, okay, this works out well.
Yeah.
So that's an element. That's our next most, is that kind of rigid protection. So you can go forwards, you can go vertically. We've even put them vertically in front of windows as well. You lose all your light coming in because it's opaque. So that would be the next element we do, because it's so versatile and it's reusable. Once the job finishes up there on the 19th floor, they can put it somewhere else. And
That's great.
It's not going to decompose, fall apart. We use that a lot. I haven't done this personally, but it goes a lot over like wood gym floors. You have really beautiful floor, put that down. If you need to do some 3rd floor scaffolding work, you can put a scaffold on this stuff. You can drive a forklift over it. It's not going to compress. So it has a lot of durability.
Wow.
So that's a really good resource as well.
I think something that you sort of touched on there about the neatness with which you apply this stuff, and you said you did the cutout for the floor label, the whole mantra of honor your job site. From our perspective as builders, you know, we are constantly trying to keep our job sites clean. Protecting things and doing it in a thoughtful, purposeful way really speaks to the care that we take with the process of building the home. And I think you know, the client sees that and feels good about having us as the builder protecting their investment along the way. And so in addition to actually protecting all this stuff, it really serves us to protect everything for the image that we're creating.
There's something about it, like it's temporary, but I think when it gets installed in a way that doesn't look temporary, it, like, the message is conveyed to the client and to our other contractors on the site. Because you know, if you've got like kind of some like cheapy floor protection that's peeling up, it's hard to respect that when you see it. You know, guys just kind of like walk over it. It keeps ripping.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're
doesn't work.
Speaking my language. The whole reason that we exist is one trade maybe doesn't care about the other trade. Right. And so I was on a job site earlier this week where we walked in and it was the cardboard paperboard on the floor with a big rip in it. So think back in this story, right? Like day 1, it rips, a little rip. Day 2, the rip's still there. Day 4, the rip's bigger. And so if you're
There's
a trade,
like junk crammed underneath.
and it just becomes normal. Like, hey, this is the way this job site's run.
Yeah.
I come on site and eyes bug out. Like, this has been here for weeks under a beautiful floor underneath and no one even taped it down.
Yeah.
So, but to your point, Chelsea, it creates an image or a culture on site, right? As if the builder, the PM in charge isn't choosing to tape down that rip in the first hour or two. You're just like kids.
It doesn't matter.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you start giving a little bit of leeway. Oh, Dad didn't care about that. All right. I'm not going to XYZ. So, but that's a big part of the message it sends on site, where we found where a lot of builders use this to make sure, the product's protected, but the additional messages it gives. Next trade walks in and they see this beautiful product protected professionally, and it sends a message to them.
Yeah.
And the goal is that, I'm going to keep my hammer claw a little closer. I'm not going to drop my junk that we see. So that's something that really resonates. And you mentioned the homeowner as well. It's totally agree, because we've had stories where homeowners are impressed when they come to the job site, they see the protection, and we've discussed that part. But the added benefit, if something does go wrong, which it will, they're like, oh, Chelsea, I know you guys were protecting it. That
Yeah, you're
just
trying.
happened, you know.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, give a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, actually, because I think there's something really, it's funny too, because only recently have I experienced this like firsthand, just doing some like remodeling on my own house
Yeah.
and walking in and seeing something. You know, if you see someone's tool sitting on top of marble, it's really frustrating. It's like, come on, get this metal, get this heavy hammer off my sink.
Yeah.
But there's if there's protection on it, if something like that happens, it feels a little bit less mindless.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
it just the whole thing, it really like translates into everything.
Yeah, it sends a message throughout the whole site, I believe. From builder sends the message to the trades, to the
Yeah.
homeowners walking through, and it elevates. It should elevate everyone's
Yeah.
game, right?
Yeah.
And then the side benefit, you're not paying for rework,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Right.
it has a benefit more than just
Absolutely.
this warm and fuzzy feeling.
Yeah.
There's real benefit to it, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Kind of going back a little bit to what you said, this was born out of Austin Retrofit and window installs, and you are a sister company, so you do a lot of work then on the windows. Does your company try to partner with other trade contractors, like flooring companies, for example,
Mhm.
so that they can work those things into their pricing, or do you specifically just work with builders?
Great question. Good vision too. So we have a few trade flooring companies that would do just that. So they'll provide it because they see the value in it protecting their product. I mean,
Right.
and the value they give to the builders. So yeah, we have a couple of flooring companies we do just that with. In those instances, we only provide product, and they lay their floor, they take a photo, and they put it down. Like, listen to one recently where he said, you take all the photos before it's covered so the
Yeah.
client can't see it.
Yeah.
Same deal though, but the way they install it looks professional. You know, as a flooring guy would install 4x8 sheets of board, right?
Yeah.
So that's a great partnership because they see it as another added value. And then the byproduct is they don't have the rework, right?
Right.
Because trying to get 3 pieces of floor out that have a ding in it, if they charge a builder, they should, but they might not for a do a relationship. That's money out of their pocket, and the homeowner sees it. So there's a great story there. So those partnerships are forming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cabinet companies, cabinet installers, I think would benefit greatly from that because their installers that come in as they're installing do a really good job of being careful because they
Mhm.
are when they're doing it. But the moment they walk away,
Yeah.
if they're not integrating that protection into the scope of their work, those things get damaged very easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they've put a service on, that's the next workstation for the next guy.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
great. Put my
Yeah.
bag here. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there's some partnerships that we're still growing, and that's when the cabinet side makes a whole lot of sense. So it does spread very, very broadly, and a lot of times it seems potentially the trade would either choose to say, hey, I'm going to add this service, like we have some of our flooring guys, or sometimes the builders say, hey, if you're going to be my AC guy, you're going to have this mat to walk on my roof, so you're not going to puncture my membrane.
Yeah.
Bring it
Mhm.
with you.
Yeah.
Roll it up and take it, but you need one on your truck.
Yeah.
Right. So we have builders dictating like that on site to
Mhm.
honor their job site, right?
Yeah.
They're making it necessary to make sure the product isn't damaged.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know what I was just thinking, Chelsea? On a previous podcast, I think it was the what to expect when you're expecting a house.
Mhm.
We talk about sort of the slow process of building, and culturally, we've got these television shows where there's the big reveal. Something really cool about job site protection is that you get this
Actually, you're right. Yeah.
unboxing moment,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like when, like you said, you put the floors down and immediately cover them, and they're covered until the house is finished, and you peel that back, and all of a sudden it's like, ta-da, we've got a house.
And I will say, like, so on the Risinger build, we had your floor protection in there, and the stairs specifically, I feel like that's just always an area that gets a lot of use.
Yep.
And there's something about that. If the floor protection isn't done really well, I always get really scared that there's like a nail or something
Oh,
has
God,
slipped under
yes.
there and it's just been like ground into the treads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that one was done so nicely that it really does feel like you're just unwrapping a present.
Oh, I like that. That's
We
great.
did one time. We installed a very, very expensive European kitchen and immediately covered it up with sheets of foam. I think it was
Yeah.
3/4 inch foam board. And the guys that did it, they were taping it together, and then they took the masking tape or the tape that they were using, and they taped a big bow on the front of one of the large cabinet
great.
I
boxes.
love
So
that.
it did look like this very
That's
large
awesome.
wrapped present.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, if you think about it too, I mean, I'm curious if we could like speak a little bit to, and we have a little bit, but just like the cost of protecting things and how
Mhm.
much it's worth it, because like the trade-off of not protecting something because you don't want to spend, it probably feels like a lot when clients see that line. Is there anything that you could give us just in terms of like sort of the benefit or like just something convincing about like
Yeah.
why it's worth it?
That's a common question because it's insurance. It's not a product that you get to keep and
Yeah.
show your family. You're not bragging about your job site protection. You're bragging about your kitchen cabinets, right?
Although we could change that.
Oh, I like that.
Right?
Oh, yeah, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Nice. So, Chelsea, to answer that, I think it's more of a relational conversation with your homeowner, right?
Mhm.
Like this amazing cabinet you picked out, you love it, right? Yeah. If this door gets damaged, can we go to Home Depot and get another one?
Yeah.
No, I got to either go to Europe and get it or get my cabinet guy in here. And like, that's what my concern is. And they'll be like, oh, you're the builder. You should protect it. You're like, well, you're right. I have a solution for you.
Mhm.
And then we can go into that. But I think it's really as you know, in residential building that we're at, it's very emotional for
Yeah.
homeowners, right? And so that may be our angle's not the right word. That might be our avenue of the emotional side of it. Because if you're painstakingly picking out all these finish elements, and
Well, and a lot of times they're one of a kind things where they've gone and selected a slab or it's
Mhm.
something that's like you're saying, super custom.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so if we can kind of latch into that emotional element, because they get it, they're invested, they meaning our homeowners, but then out of sight, out of mind, I can't wait to move in.
Yeah.
But it's got to sit on site for 8, 12, 24 months, whatever the heck it is. And so if we help convey like, okay, this is the cost of a job site protection plan. And that's one thing we do. You can send us a plan. We can create a JPP, a job site protection plan, like everything.
Okay.
And so then we can use our Pareto chart and say, okay, these are our most important ones. We got a 4,000 square foot of wood flooring. We got this much tile, this much glass square footage, and we could do like an a la carte. Could be
Okay.
another solution, right?
Oh, that's
and so
Yeah.
if you have an a la carte mixed with the emotion of the homeowner, like, hey, how much do you care about your glass being scratched? Because it could be a cost of X. Okay, put that on the tray, right? And if it's wood flooring or if it's tile somewhere else and they're less concerned about it, we got plenty of tile in the garage, plenty of leftovers. We got a good grout guy. Okay, well let's not worry about that one. So
Yeah.
again, we're just trying to elevate the conversation, right? We're not
Mhm.
trying to protect the whole wrap everything in saran wrap and protect it all. We're just trying to elevate the conversation because I feel in my heart that if we elevate this conversation at this level, at these level homes, other guys will too, and other
Yeah.
homes will too.
Yeah.
And the end
Yeah.
benefit is the homeowner gets a better product. The trades are taking better care of the job site. Builders getting great reputation and the
Mhm.
architect's product. So the honor your job site is really from pencil to turning in the
Mhm.
keys at the end.
Yeah.
So long answer to your question, but I think the emotional side of it is how we get there.
Mhm.
There's a dollar amount connected with
Yeah.
it.
Well, and I like that you're able to sort of set things out and owners can look at things in terms of their priorities and,
Right.
and like the ease of protecting something that that can be if there's something that can be replaced later, we don't have to necessarily prioritize that piece.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to think about it because there's so much stuff on your job you can't replace. And if you did, it's
Yeah.
time, energy, money.
Yeah.
Cru-
The
cruise
cost
it
to
back.
replace something is always larger than it was to install it in the
Yeah.
first place.
Yeah, the time alone too.
Yeah, going backwards is never fun. Yeah.
It's terrible.
Absolutely. Awesome. All right. Well, this has been a really great conversation. We'd like to ask you one more question.
All right.
If you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Ooh, I was ready for this.
Okay.
I knew it was coming. So the younger
Wait,
me,
who told you?
I've been watching your shows.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you didn't know.
People listen
I'm a
to these?
fan. Yeah, no doubt. That was good. So younger me, I was going to play second base for the Chicago Cubs. That one
Okay.
didn't work out.
Okay.
And honestly, I think I might be a firefighter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I like that.
I like the camaraderie. I like the supporting others, the helping others. And with the schedule of firefighters, you're like 4 days on, 3 days
Yeah.
off. My 3 days off, I'd be a destruction derby driver.
Oh,
I want to drive in a destruction derby.
best answer yet.
Yeah, I think you win.
So that's my dual
I
purpose.
love it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we'll keep going for this for a while.
Yeah.
So This has been really fun. Thank you for embracing this conversation and bringing light to it. And,
Yeah.
home's been going on for so darn long. You guys talking about the 500-year home. I mean, if you got that, you got to protect this stuff.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
right. Well,
And-
it's for us, we definitely see the value in it and appreciate companies like yours that
Mhm.
provide those things.
For
Excellent. Thanks, Daniel.
Awesome.
sure. Thanks.
Thanks, Chelsea.
That's it for another episode of Work in Process. Thanks for listening. If you've got a question, a topic suggestion, or want to start a project with us, send an email to hello@risingerbuild.com.
You can also find us on Instagram at risingerbuild_ATX or on YouTube by searching Risinger Build. We'd love to hear from you.